Jack, did you take that from me? Oh, thanks. I had to make notes. I just had to make some notes.
Is this going to be long?
I really, yes.
Have I got time to go to the bathroom?
You stole Paul's line on that one.
That's a big surprise.
My standing here today is an honor beyond my dreams. I just want you all to know that. And I'm pretty sure that Mike, Wayne, Major Short, and the other honorees tonight, I'm sorry, I feel the same way. This is an honor beyond our dreams. None of us got here just on our own. We got here because of family and friends, students, banjo lovers all around the country and the world. I want to thank my wife Sandy and my daughter Stacy. Specifically, they put up with hearing me play for years and years and years. The good and the bad and the ugly, so to speak. I need to thank my father. It was Dad's inspiration that got me to play in the first place. He played a sort of reverse psychology game with me, I think, when I was very little. My twin brother Will and I would go to bed about 8:30. My mother worked evenings, and so that was Dad's practice time. Every night we'd go to bed listening to Dad play songs. Long about the time I was 8 or 9, I wanted to play the banjo. I wanted to be like Dad. And so I started bugging him. Dad, show me how to play that. Show me how to play that. You don't want to do this. You couldn't do this. You'll never be able to do this. Yeah, look, give me a chance. Let me try. So anyway, eventually I wore him down with my begging and cajoling and all of that, and he started showing me how to play a few things. It was the monkey see, monkey do method. Do this, Steve. Okay. Can you show me that again, Dad? Pay attention, Steve. Think. Use your head. So anyway, his next comment was, after I rehearsed the song 500 times, you haven't got that right yet, Steve. So keep practicing. So I got to thank my dad. His best friend was Billy Jordan. The first song you heard in the presentation was a song that my dad and Billy Jordan wrote together called the Stelbert Rag. My mother's name was Bertha. Billy Jordan's wife's name was Estelle. They call it the Stelbert Rag. And it's a song I still play today in Dad's memory. Early on, when I was a teenager, the Reverend Ryder from Attleboro, Mass. Contacted my father. Said, I'm putting together a little banjo group. We're going to play in a lot of churches, for a lot of church lady groups and things, but, you know, I'm a banjo player, and I'd like to see how many banjo players are in the immediate southeastern Massachusetts area. So 33 of us showed up at the first rehearsal, and out of that we formed the Possums Plunkers. And the Reverend Ryder was extremely, I mean, to the nth degree, he just mentored me, and not only in banjo, but how to speak to people, not just from the stage, but in person. He was that kind of a guy. Always had a story, always had something to say to somebody. It was just fantastic. And I learned a lot from him. He and I would ride to the gigs together, and he was my clergyman. He was my spiritual advisor. And we talked about spirituality and music many, many, many times. I'm a firm believer that God gave me the right hand. He gave me that. That was my gift from him. With that gift, he challenged me. The challenge was, what the hell do I do with the left one? The right. You know? So that was, I had to learn how to use the left hand. I had to learn music. I had to learn chords. I had to learn scales. I had to learn all that stuff. The right hand was there. That was the gift. The left hand was God's challenge. I'm still working on that challenge, let me tell you. Jim Haas was going to be here tonight. He had a medical issue last week. He ended up in the hospital. He's okay. They're still trying to figure out what was going on. Jim is the guy who encouraged me to learn how to improvise. Start doing some fast little movements on the banjo, fill-ins, and just improvisations and that. Jim was the guy. Bob Paul, my high school music teacher, great guy, just a great guy. I'm still in contact with him. I played gigs with him. He was a Dixieland jazz trombonist who loved the banjo. When I joined the high school band and the glee club, he found out that I played banjo, and it's like, you play the banjo? We gotta have you play banjo in the glee club, and I did. And that's the guy that taught me how to sing. He taught me how to sing, he taught me how to pronounce my consonants and my vowels. And I know, I do it in a New England accent. Bob was from New England also. I have to thank some of the people that I've met online who opened up the rest of the world to me. I was a regional player. I was a New England player, very rarely ventured out of New England until well, not contacted, but until I met a couple of people. The first guy I met, who was at the Fire Convention in New Hampshire in 1996, was a fellow by the name of Noel Dooney. Noel had formed what is known as the 4-string banjo list. And a whole bunch of us, banjo players, found out about that. And it's just a discussion group. We talk about banjo items, banjo-related stuff, and it was just a great place to meet people online. It's where I met Rob. And then we finally met in person in 2004 out in Sacramento. The other person that had a major, major impact on my coming out of my little shell of New England is John Mumford, right here. John started the Jazz Banjo Magazine website, and he was looking for a tenor player who could put together chord melody solos. Chord melody was my thing back when I was 14. That was my goal. I need to learn how to play chord melody, and I did. I figured it all out. It wasn't something my father could show me because he didn't do that. He did all kinds of great things, but he didn't play chord melody. Yes. So for John Mumford, he asked me if I would provide those arrangements for tenor for his web zine. And John, I am forever grateful to you for giving me that opportunity that opened up the rest of the world to me, where other people across the country got to know who I was, who I am, and my philosophy on playing the banjo. Now I have two other people that I need to thank. One is Paul Simpson. Paul Simpson was an Attleboro machinist who, when he retired from Texas Instruments, he decided, because he was playing banjos for so long, he decided to build banjos. But he needed somebody to frost the cake, the way he put it. I have an art school education in illustration. Paul knew that. He said, have you ever tried hand engraving, Steve? I said, nope. But I work at Balfour, and I work with hand engravers. So I went to work, and I started talking with two guys there, Pat Mazziello and Asa White. They put together an engraving kit for me and showed me how to do ornamental engraving. That's the little wiggle cuts and those things, you know. I could never do break cuts. I could never do banknote engraving, any of that kind of stuff. But I can wiggle my butt off. So I learned how to do wiggle cuts, and that's the type of engraving that I do. And so I thank Pat Mazziello and Asa White for that. All right, now, there's another list of people that I need to thank. And it's all these folks from New England who have supported me for the last, I can't tell you how long. They've been taking lessons with me for years. They supported my ideas. When I decided to put together the New England Banjo Orchestra in honor of my father, because I liked harmony, and I needed to have harmony in the background, they're, yep, whatever you need us to do. And they're playing 5-part harmony, and it just sounds great. It's very much designed after the Dallas Banjo Band, and that brings me to having to thank Jack Pavick right here, who was very instrumental in helping me convince the Dallas